अगर कोई फाउंडर या सीएफओ ये सुन रहा है जो ग्रोथ फेज में है, तो आप उन्हें ट्रस्ट और ऑडिट क्वालिटी को प्रायोरिटी देने के लिए क्या प्रैक्टिकल एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे?
CEOs को एडवाइस देने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you engage a right partner, acts and he becomes your ally and an engine towards the growth.
I heard of the alliance you formed with Kirtane Pandit. Can you briefly describe about that?
I've heard from various sources. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi also has been promoting one idea called India should be the Vishwa Guru. And when we talk about Vishwa Guru,
वेलकम टू द डील रूम, जहां हम सिर्फ डील्स नहीं करते, हम बात करते हैं क्रेडिबिलिटी, ट्रस्ट और लॉन्ग टर्म वैल्यू क्रिएशन की। आज के वर्ल्ड में कैपिटल इजीली मिल सकता है, ग्रोथ चेज किया जा सकता है, लेकिन ट्रस्ट अर्न करना पड़ता है, और जब ट्रस्ट टूट जाता है तो सिर्फ कंपनी नहीं, पूरा इकोसिस्टम हिल जाता है। इसलिए आज का टॉपिक है ट्रस्ट इज द न्यू करेंसी एंड वाई ऑडिट क्वालिटी मैटर्स मोर देन एवर। और इस इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्वर्सेशंस के लिए हमारे साथ है मिस्टर संदीप विलिंग सर, मैनेजिंग पार्टनर एट कीर्तन पंडित LLP, BFSI इकोसिस्टम में नियरली 3 decades का एक्सपीरियंस एंड बीन ऑन द मैनेजिंग कमेटी ऑफ द ICAI, और एक ऐसे लीडर हैं जिन्होंने ऑडिट को सिर्फ कंप्लायंस नहीं बल्कि क्रेडिबिलिटी का बैकबोन माना है। आज हम बात करेंगे ऑडिट सिर्फ फॉर्मेलिटी क्यों नहीं है, ट्रस्ट इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए सबसे बड़ा एसेट क्यों बन चुका है, गवर्नेंस कैसे ग्रोथ को एक्सेलरेट करता है, और फाउंडर्स, CFOs और लीडर्स अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ट्रस्ट का कल्चर कैसे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। अगर आप फाउंडर हैं, इन्वेस्टर हैं, फाइनेंस प्रोफेशनल हैं, तो ये इनसाइट नहीं पर पर्सपेक्टिव शिफ्ट देगा। सो लेट्स स्टेप इनसाइड द डील रूम फॉर अ डीप कॉन्वर्सेशन ऑन ट्रस्ट, गवर्नेंस एंड द फ्यूचर ऑफ India's financial ecosystem. Welcome, Sandeep sir.
thank you.
Recently, I heard of the alliance you formed with Kirtane Pandit. Can you briefly describe about that?
So basically, you will know and you must have heard from various sources. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also has been promoting one idea called India should be the Vishwa Guru. And when we talk about Vishwa Guru, it's not about money. It's not about having the highest GDP. It's about having a thought leadership. And that thought leadership will come to you only when you have your own indigenous institutions who have been promoting a thought that would lead the governance and the overall credibility for the world, not just for India. 100% of the commercial laws today are borrowed by us from the West. We can go and get bigger, we can get stronger in terms of money, but we can never become a leader unless we have our own thought process. And therefore, this idea of developing indigenous consulting firms was promoted and government has been pushing it for long. We at Kirtane Pandit, we have always believed in building institutions. So we are ourselves 70-year-old firm. We have built institutions like KPIT Technologies, which is the leader in the microchips, hydrogen microchips for the EVs.
Oh, that's amazing.
For the entire world, having offices across 13 countries. We have always looked at building the institutions. So as in Kirtane Pandit, we have always thought that we should rise to the occasion to lead from the trust perspective, and the ethical values should be like IT. Even accounting has been the ancient profession of India, and it's time for us to actually showcase our ability, our thought leadership to the world. With this thought, we have been working, and there were firms from Delhi, SS Kothari and Mehta, and from Bangalore, Guru and Jana. You know, we came together because both these firms also carry the similar mindset.
Oh, nice.
So there is a saying that the birds of the same feather flock together. Obviously, we came together because of the common values, and we formed an alliance called KGS. K for Kirtane Pandit, G for Guru Jana, S for SS Kothari. By virtue of us coming together, we are today the largest homegrown alliance.
Oh.
After, and in terms of absolute terms, and the foreign brands are separate, but as far as the local brand is concerned, we would be the largest with 76 partners, 40 directors, 2,500 employees across 14 cities in India. And as and when institute also gives us the permissions, we aspire go abroad, go global, and set our footprints. So that's where we stand at the moment.
All the very best for the future endeavor, sir.
Thank you.
संदीप सर, आज के फाइनेंशियल और बिजनेस इकोसिस्टम में आप ट्रस्ट को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं? आपके हिसाब से ट्रस्ट क्यों आज एक करेंसी बन चुका है?
Well, trust has always been a currency. Money follows. People pay for the trust only. It only keeps taking a different form. So there was a trust in the overall business concepts,
Right.
and then auditors came in. Ever since the impersonalization of business started, the audit started getting importance and significance. So there was a time when individuals were regarded as the trustworthy people. As the profession also grew, the organizations grew, the institutions have taken the place of those individuals, and therefore having the right audit methodologies, having the right accreditations, and the philosophy at your end matters a lot. Right. So that is something which is very important. It's generally misunderstood that any chartered accountant can be a good auditor. No, within the chartered accountancy also there are so many facets.
So, right.
So somebody who has a passion for audit will know the pains that he has to undertake to excel, and therefore it's not very difficult to know. And I must tell you that there will be a good amount of local firms who are aspiring to get to that level, and we are one of them.
That's amazing, sir. अगर हम ट्रस्ट की बात करें तो ऑडिट का रोल एग्जैक्टली कहाँ फिट होता है? ऑडिट कैसे एक कंपनी की क्रेडिबिलिटी और रेपुटेशन को शेप करता है?
Well, I would say audit is the base. Okay, it may not actually enhance the trust, but it will ensure that there is nothing wrong with it.
Right.
The trust will have to be built by the promoters, the overall process in the organization, the philosophy, and the policies that are, and the concept that is being promoted by the promoters.
Right.
So audit will ensure that yes, whatever has been done, whatever has been said is right, and it's important that you have the right auditor, because ultimately understanding the knowledge of the promoter's business is crucial in this aspect.
Right.
So therefore I would say the right audit partner helps.
एंड बहुत लोग ऑडिट को सिर्फ एक स्टैट्यूटरी कंप्लायंस समझते हैं. आपके एक्सपीरियंस में जब ऑडिट सिर्फ कंप्लायंस से आगे आ जाता है तो तब ट्रस्ट कैसे क्रिएट होता है?
Actually, audit is compliance, number one. However, the expectations of the overall investors, the public at large who invest into the company, is going much beyond the compliance. And therefore, even audit standards have been actually slowly changing its form. Right. To ensure that those aspects are taken care of. So today, more than the financials, the disclosures also matter a lot. So if any of the promoter wants to showcase that confidence, in my opinion, we should not look at whether organization is obligatory to give these disclosures or not. If he wants to promote his organization trust, anybody should do what is right, whether it's compliance related or not, and that will enhance the value of any organization.
Doing what is right.
Yes, so that is what I mean by going beyond the compliance. Right. Whether it is applicable or not, if it leads to a transparency, enhancing your trust, do it.
इंडिया में हमने कुछ कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस फेलियर्स देखे हैं. अगर हम ट्रस्ट और ऑडिट क्वालिटी के लेंस से देखें, आपको क्या लगता है कि कौन से गैप सबसे ज्यादा डैमेजिंग होते हैं?
See what happens when the corporate governance failure takes place. It's not the audit firm alone that gets a bad reputation. Unfortunately, it's the profession that gets affected. And therefore, all of us as auditor, we should be extra careful when it comes to ensuring that whenever we are delivering right. At the same time, I would say that there are certain limitations to audit also, because there are certain things you may observe but may not form part of the audit disclosure, and therefore striking that right balance and somehow ensuring that the communication to the investor is correct.
Right.
That's where the skill of the auditor lies, and that's where I believe if we try to be always on the side of investors, ensuring that the money is in the bad hands, may not be with the intent, maybe with some problems.
Yeah, that can
It's not always the intent of the promoters or on the part of the management. Could be certain bad times. If we stick to our guns and ensure that we disclose right, in fact, it would help the business in the long run.
right.
I have always observed that if you come out transparent, it has helped. I have certain examples wherein it says the person has taken, he has beat the bullet,
Ah,
and yet they come out glorious. And that's where the role of the right
doing
auditor, and that is where, like you said, going beyond compliances.
इन्वेस्टर्स जब किसी कंपनी को इवेल्युएट करते हैं तो आपके एक्सपीरियंस में ऑडिट क्वालिटी का रोल इन्वेस्टर कॉन्फिडेंस में कितना डिसाइसिव होता है?
But this is actually a double-edged sword, because there have been cases where the investor would insist on certain names, and if that particular audit company is also their advisor elsewhere, there could be a conflict which is not evident on the paper. So in my opinion, promoter should always see to it that it's not always necessary to go by the suggestions of the investors, but he must have the right vision to look for the right auditor. I would say one more thing: Institute of Chartered Accountant also has come up with various parameters. There is a audit quality maturity model mechanism created by Institute of Chartered Accountant. One may look at a situation where, okay, if somebody is at AQMM 4, which is the best,
Okay.
or AQMM 3 plus, I will appoint only such auditor. It helps.
Okay. Oh.
So if investor says that I want so and so firm, you may always say that here is the firm with AQMM 4, AQMM 3, which is equally good.
It's an index for the
Yes, and independent.
auditors. Yeah.
Yes. So what should be looked at, in my opinion, whether the firm has that accreditation,
Right.
whether those systems, because AQMM would mean that you have the right IT infrastructure, you have the right documentation methodologies, you have the right audit procedures, you have the right people. So it passes through all those channels before you get.
आप क्या मानते हैं कि ऑडिटर्स का रोल सिर्फ रिस्क आइडेंटिफाई करना नहीं बल्कि ट्रस्ट इनेबल करना भी होता है? इस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को प्रैक्टिकली कैसे बैलेंस किया जाता है?
रिस्क एलिमिनेट करना यह ऑडिटर का काम नहीं है। रिस्क आइडेंटिफाई करके इंश्योर करना कि वो रिस्क अफेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, और अगर हो रहा है तो वेदर दैट इज अफेक्टिंग द फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग, दैट इज वेरी क्रूशियल, and that's where right people engaged on the audit matters a lot. So I would say that risk identify hona is the most critical activity of our audit. After having identified those risks, you try and make your strategy for the audit.
Alright.
And even including the NAFRA, the new body which has come in, they have also been looking at the auditors methodology and the process of identifying risk. So risk identification is definitely important. Risk elimination is the
Right.
promoters.
It's a promoters thing. I think we can disclose that
Yes.
in our audit, whatever we
Yes.
found was
Identification and ensuring that those risks are actually taken care of for the purpose of reporting is the job of the auditor.
That's nice. फास्ट ग्रोइंग कंपनीज और स्टार्टअप्स अक्सर स्पीड और स्केल पर फोकस करते हैं। क्या आपने देखा है कि इस रेस में ट्रस्ट और गवर्नेंस कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है और इसका लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है?
I would say there was a time, I would no doubt that people would at times ignore the governance. But I believe now no longer the case. People have realized that building the trust is the true building of institution. So speed does not matter as long as you are ethical and you are in the process of building that trust for the investors.
Right.
So depending on which business you are in, the speed would take place. So I don't think they are conflicts, but yes, when you are moving at a speed, you have to have a right check
Right.
and a better check,
Right.
and that's where the audit plays role.
हाँ, अगेन स्ट्रॉन्ग ऑडिट और ट्रस्ट तभी पॉसिबल होते हैं जब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर गवर्नेंस कल्चर हो, लीडरशिप और बोर्ड इस कल्चर को कैसे ड्राइव कर सकते हैं?
So if you really look at any investor, yes, no doubt they will look at who is the auditor, but before that they would look at who is the promoter. Before that they will look at how trustworthy their systems are, and therefore creating that atmosphere of trust, the environment of transparency in your organization is very important, and it should not and never be limited to the promoter and few managerial persons. It has to be across,
Down the
whether the policies, whether the transparency has been penetrated down across the organization. Creating that culture would only give you the right value. That is very, very crucial.
From the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid, we can say. It should come from upside to the downside, from
Yes,
all levels.
always, always, always. So if we are able to build that entire transparency mechanism, in my opinion, everything else follows, because people invest in the concept.
Concept.
So concept is something which people know, that's why they invest. But what they want to know, whether the hands and the brains
Right.
who are actually pursuing that concept, whether they are transparent and trustworthy enough. These two things have to be extremely cautiously taken care of.
अगर कोई फाउंडर या सीएफओ ये सुन रहा है जो ग्रोथ फेज में है, तो आप उन्हें ट्रस्ट और ऑडिट क्वालिटी को प्रायोरिटी देने के लिए क्या प्रैक्टिकल एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे?
प्रमोटर और सीईओ को एडवाइस देने की जरूरत नहीं है। पर मैं जरूर ये कहना चाहूँगा कि इफ़ यू engage a right partner, he acts and he becomes your ally and an engine towards the growth.
Right, right.
So I would suggest that, because the business has become so complicated today,
True.
that there was a time when people would engage, employ people themselves, and ensure that their organization grows. But the concepts are changing so fast that it is necessary that you hire the right partners, and identifying the right partner would be the crucial and critical.
अगर हम आने वाले 5-10 साल देखें, तो आपको क्या लगता है इंडिया के प्राइवेट मार्केट्स में ट्रस्ट और ऑडिट क्वालिटी का इंपॉर्टेंस और कैसे इवॉल्व होगा?
India has been working very hard towards creating that trust. There have been a lot of changes. Institute of Chartered Accountant is trying to do within themselves. The various parliamentary acts,
Right.
like NAFRA or bodies, I would say, they are trying to ensure the right audit quality, and it is moving in such a direction where actually achieve that a great quality and the trust in the audit. Once again, why I say once again, not because we have lost, but Indian mindset also needs to change from individuality to the institutionalization of their audit process.
Right.
So that process which foreign companies have mastered, Indian companies also are in the process by virtue of all these new regulations coming in.
Right.
And I can tell you, quite a few Indian firms also will emerge as the global competitors.
Right, we are looking for the same, sir.
Yeah.
So इस कॉन्वर्सेशंस को सुन रहे हैं जो लोग, सो क्या टेक अवे एक चीज अपने साथ लेकर जाएं एंड उसको अप्लाई करें जो उनके लिए बेस्ट होगा?
मैं कहूँगा कि ऑडिट is a very noble profession,
Right.
and it would be a long lasting relationship with the right partner that would take you forward. And therefore, we don't have to necessarily go with our guts, but we also need to have the right objectivity when you choose a partner.
Right. All right. So we are closing this edition of the Deal Room with this now. Looking forward to see you on another videos. And please like, subscribe, and share this. Thank you.
Thank you.